these days.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We're live.
And then there's a Seth Rollins whoa.
Yep.
There's a Sami Zayn whoa. Is that all the woes?
Those are all the woes. We're live.
No, I understand. You already said we're live, but I'm just continuing with the conversation. Okay.
Let's see.
Did you see my ass crack when I got up? Okay. Hello, Rasslin, live right after Backlash in San Juan, Puerto Rico. That's a whole different place. It's an island, apparently. Not where I thought it was, but it was great. What an incredible show. Nick, this is the first time we've done this particular format with you two having equal representation with me, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy.
It was inevitable. I forced you into this, man.
I don't know why we were doing that, but whatever.
Okay,
so it is Rasslin. I got to tweet it out, and then I will get into the discussion. Okay. Can people? Oh, good. So I can see the comments. Okay.
You see them? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There we go. So Nick Stasiak, Dylan Flippo, Kevin Cleary, all the boys, everybody. I want y'all to put the word out. We back up.
TJ, shout out TJ. I see TJ.
Is TJ here?
Yeah, TJ's in the chat.
I don't know why you'd say that 45 goddamn times if he wasn't in the chat. All right, I need the link for the YouTube, and then we're going to go. Before I get started, actually, I want everybody in here before I say this. So I'm going to wait till I tweet it out. Rasslin, Barstool, okay, post show. All right, link. That's me. Wait till I tweet it out. Yep, that was what I said. How did you like the show, Nick?
The show was unbelievable. It destroyed expectations by, I mean, could be show of the year. I mean, it's right up there with anything.
So that's Nick, the wrestling social guy. That's Aria, the producer. Aria, did you like that show?
Yeah, it was crazy. I honestly felt like it felt bigger than WrestleMania at times. It was intense.
Aria, are you coming to us tonight from Viscera's butthole? What is that brown wall behind you?
It's spread. I don't know. I got other stuff over here, and I don't know. I just decided to go here.
Yeah. So I was originally not even going to really watch this show. I was going to watch it in the background. My daughter wanted to watch it. The first match was Bianca Belair against Io Sky, and I said, okay, well, I'll see what happens. Terrific match. Fantastic match, and then we're off. We're sucked in. This pay-per-view had highlights. It had 3 or 4 wow moments. It had 3 or 4 gigantic moments. It had Bad Bunny's entrance, which will go down as an all-timer. It had who had Savio Vega getting the pop of the night on their bingo card? You, Nick?
I didn't have that. I mean, I put it out earlier in the day. I was like, who's gonna have the biggest pop? And it was like, Bad Bunny's gonna have it. But Savio clearly has the history there that is just unrivaled at this point. As Bad Bunny, 140 million followers, doesn't matter. As soon as Savio Vega, showed up, it was a wrap.
All right, here we go. Let me say something off the top. Okay, so we've never given up on wrestling. A year ago, Barstool took our resources away from us and shut us down, even though we had 8 of 10 videos that had topped 100,000 views, and we were in a period of growth, really growing, and they took it away. And I still think, I've told them, I've told Dave, I've told Erica, I've told Gaz, a bullshit fucking decision that I hate. But the only thing this company sees is numbers and dollar signs. What I need for you to do is subscribe to this thing, because I figure if I get to 100,000 subscribers, I can't fucking ignore that, right? Like, we're celebrating other channels getting 100,000, and they're actually allowed to do stuff, whereas if I get it, what can they tell me? Okay? We want to do this. We want to be good. I need your help. I need you to fucking support it and just deluge them with bring back wrestling, bring back wrestling, bring back wrestling, bring back wrestling. Now, tonight, WWE has been on quite a roll, Nick and Aria. They've been on quite a roll because outside of Cody not winning at Mania, the Rumble was fantastic. The February show in Montreal was fantastic with a great crowd. Mania, outside of Cody not winning, was fantastic. And then tonight it blew me away. It was an absolutely fantastic show from start to finish. One question, are Bad Bunny and Logan Paul in the midst of this like shadow fight to see who's the greatest celebrity of all time in WWE?
I was going to say, I think you're going to see them down the road potentially lock up. And then I posed a question to you. Are they Hall of Famers like right now? Like Celebrity Wing?
Celebrity Wing, yes, by far. But the way they're going, they could be in the real damn thing.
Definitely Logan.
Well, they both could. I mean,
Yeah.
main event of the pay-per-view in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I think they're better than just like they're better than half some. I don't say half the wrestlers, but some of the wrestlers already in WWE. It's insane.
Well, I mean, they're clearly just fans, right? They're clearly fans from they're like us. If we were gigantic celebrities with 140 million Instagram subscribers, but usually when you would have a like Snoop Dogg at WrestleMania, right? He throws a punch, and Miz had to do all the work and had to, you had to fake, you had to do things to make it look better, and you have to walk them around. Bad Bunny and Logan Paul both get in there and just wrestle, and they fight. And Bad Bunny's one of the most famous people in the world, and he's getting slammed through these, I don't know what those were, those tables set up outside. He's taking these massive, massive bumps. And then Puerto Rico, I've never been there. What a crowd. What a crowd.
Where does that crowd rank? I mean, they did not, I mean, even comparing to like the UK, they didn't stop once.
No.
Not the entire night.
And after the Bad Bunny match, you would think they would have come down. They didn't. They didn't come down. They were hot they weren't as hot for the Usos triple threat, three-way, six-man tag team match. They weren't as hot, and they weren't as hot for Cody, but they were still hot. I mean, they were still.
That also wasn't the hottest match on the card, though. Like, to be fair, like we've seen that before in a different way, and like there wasn't as much at stake against each other anymore. It was more like, it was obviously the story was the bloodline. Like that was a bloodline, let's forward that story match.
Did you believe that did you think that Bad Bunny against Damian Priest should have closed the show?
I mean, based on what we just saw, like I think you could have, I think you could have done that.
Now, I thought the crowd, let's go match by match. I thought the crowd threw us a curveball early when they cheered for Io Sky and they booed Bianca Belair. That's the first time we've seen Bianca Belair get booed really like that. She handled it like a champ. I mean, she's a stud. I didn't see that coming from the crowd.
I didn't see it coming because it's not like Io is this like super cool heel. They just were like, we're just going to go with Io. Like, we appreciate her body of work and what she does in the ring. And, Bianca's been the champ for a long time, like a very long time. And, I mean, they set the tone. I mean, if you look at the way the rest of the pay-per-view went, I mean, it kind of made sense.
Nick, can you move a little bit that way?
Other
way.
You want to see what's up?
It's a karate kid, and that's
Monster Squad. We got Rad, Back to the Future. I got NHL 94, a 92 Crystal Pepsi, a Surge.
How did you ever get pussy in your life?
You see this jawline, right? Do you think?
No, I see the jawline.
This was carved out of Mount Vesuvius.
Okay. All right. Now, before we go any further with the wrestling, I am going to sing word for word straight out of Compton. So if you guys will just hang on right there. Just hang on right there. I'm just going to do that, and then we'll go forward. Yes, like the stream. Tell your friends, subscribe, please. Then there were a couple of matches after Bianca beats Io, which I think they probably got to turn Io face, but I don't know if that crowd reaction is going to go any further. If it does, they got to turn her face. And maybe a Bianca heel turn soon. I don't know. I know the kids love her.
She's tough. She's like a Cena type, like baby face.
Well, I have a dream where Montez goes heel and drags her heel too, and they would just be the best heel tandem in all of wrestling. I think that would be fantastic because he's just a star waiting to pop anyway.
Right. Yeah. You almost feel, I mean, because you could tell Dawkins is putting in that work. Like he's gotten in better shape, but it's like when you're next to Ford, it's like, listen, man, it just is what it is. Like
the second match. Well, I know we had Bobby Lashley. Well, we had Seth Rollins.
Second match was Seth Rollins almost.
And Seth Rollins absolutely kind of took Omos to a pretty good match. And Seth Rollins is now worth watching just to see, because when you saw this hot crowd, I immediately thought, all right, well, I need to see them sing his song. And they gave it to me. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Whole match too.
Is Seth Rollins full face now?
Yeah, I think he's full face now at this point. I think you need him to be a face based on like I feel like that they can bring a heel in to challenge for that belt, because I do think that Rollins is going to be the guy. If I could,
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like
Right
they're
now.
setting Rollins up for this
Yeah.
new belt.
right.
I
As
would
a
think
contender.
they are setting Rollins up for the new belt because I think Cody's story is probably stretching until next WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I would imagine. Now, the third match was Bobby Lashley against it was Austin Theory against Bronson Reed, correct?
Yep.
That match happened. Austin Reed retained. I don't know how much we got to delve into that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just Bronson Reed just showed that, if you want to put him in like those ladder matches, like that's what I took from it. It's like this guy can go. He's not just like a big dude. It was obviously his match. Like the other two, they're set. This was like, hey, let's just show everyone what Bronson Reed could do. That's what kind of took like that. I mean, dude hit a moonsault. He's got to be near like
now.
450.
The next match I thought was the first time they were in a tricky spot.
With Rhea?
Unless I'm skipping one, it was Rhea Ripley, who's on the star ride of a lifetime right now. She's $1 million in there. You look at her and she had don't think it was lost on me that the Judgment Day that Priest and Rhea Ripley both had their white, their matching white on tonight. That was pretty good. But Rhea Ripley comes out, looks like $1 billion, obviously a huge star. And then you got Alina Vega, who's not really that over in many places, but she's in Puerto Rico, comes out with a huge Puerto Rican flag. But she wasn't beating Rhea Ripley because Rhea Ripley's a star.
Right.
And is on the rocket ship. And probably I can't foresee a time where she's going to lose that belt anytime soon. I mean, she's one of their hottest rising stars this year.
I feel like Vega was the perfect opponent, though, because you're in Puerto Rico. She has the connection there, and no one's beating Ripley at Backlash.
Well, also, if you were wrestling, just take any other face. Take Liv Morgan, right? Let's say she was wrestling Liv Morgan. I don't think Rhea's getting booed tonight. I don't think Liv Morgan's getting cheered against Rhea because Rhea's that hot. But the fact that they had the Puerto Rico element probably made that. And then Zelina Vega got her a nice moment at the end where she got to soak in she was real tears.
Yeah, I mean, she had her whole family there. Obviously, her roots are tied there. So I saw like Malachi even tweeted. He's not a big tweeter, but he tweeted out, about her moment. And she hasn't done much. She hasn't done much.
Something about the mists of death in Elderland come hither and suck the eyes and the blood of all the Wanderlust. Is that what he tweeted? That motherfucker's weird.
Well, he tweeted exactly what he said to you in person. If anybody out there wants to go watch that interview, it's on our channel. Brandon basically diagnoses Malachi with an eye issue.
Yeah, or just being a weird motherfucker.
Yeah.
Now we got after that is the next match.
After that was Bad Bunny, Damian Priest.
Okay, so when they started going into the pre-roll for the film, I was like, okay, well they're gonna do this. They're gonna do this now. And from the second, well, first of all, between the first and second matches, when we saw Bad Bunny talking to Rey Mysterio, completely in Spanish, so I have no idea what they said. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure Rey was saying, "Hey, I got a buddy that wants to come talk to you," because I did pick up Amigo, and it was Savio Vega, huge pop, and now Bad Bunny's music hits, and just an all-time entrance, man, an all-time entrance. And they never do this. The fact that they put the camera behind him and walked out with him was interesting.
Well, they had a drone. So they had a drone.
That drone been doing work the last couple of days.
Well, they didn't have, because their entrance was tough. They couldn't do much with that entrance. So I kind of feel like they used the drone to just make it. But the drone was perfect for him. I mean, and his song, which the entire crowd knew, like it wasn't just like, oh, we're gonna sing Cody's opening 5 words. They literally sang the entire song.
Yeah.
Like, and then in the beginning of it is a vintage wrestling theme, like doo-doo, doo-doo,
well, Bad Bunny is the ultimate test of my age. I only know him through WWE. I don't know his music. Obviously I can tell he's a huge star. He has 140 million Instagram followers. Like he's a gigantic star. I can't tell you a song, but that crowd knew his songs. They knew who he was.
Oh yeah, and that's like the most wrong I've ever been. Like when he came out with Booker T the first time, I was like, this is typical WWE, just getting a guy that no one knows completely wrong. I mean,
because back, especially when he made his first appearance, he looked like he was 130 pounds soaking wet. This guy, I don't know. He's done work to get in shape.
Oh, he's definitely done some work because I mean, Damian Priest is a big dude. He's a big dude. Guy. He's probably your height, maybe a shy taller.
And I think he's probably an inch or two taller than me.
And Bunny was like, and he's the biggest guy in the LWO.
Yeah,
he's the heater.
Bunny's a thick guy. So right now I'm going to just stop and I'm going to read the entirety of Tupac's 1996 album, All Eyes on Me. So if you guys will just give me a second, I'm going to do that. We're going to take comments in a minute. Take all the comments. So Bad Bunny and Damian Priest wrestle, right? Well, they fight, really. They fight. And anytime you got a match like this where it's a fight, you know it's going to be overbooked and you know you're going to get a lot of fun. And we get Savio cameo and we get Carlito. Carlito can still go.
Why is he not?
Carlito can still go. Carlito went away, what, 12 years ago now?
Yeah.
Carlito can still go.
And he was hilarious then, too. I don't understand. I don't get it.
He was one of the biggest dudes on the card. And
yeah, he really was. He was big. He was now Savio's been enjoying retirement.
Yeah. Savio, that kick. I was surprised how high he got the leg. I can't get my leg that high. And he's still just doing the vintage Savio Vega stuff, going back to the strap match back in the day. I mean, that match was like, it was almost like the WrestleMania 31, like the NWO.
Oh yeah.
That's what that match was to me. Yeah.
Well, that remains the dumbest walkouts of all time. I know everybody says it was fun, but the NWO came out to help Sting. What?
Hogan doing the guitar from like.
That never once made sense at all. But whatever. Tonight's did make sense because all the guys helped. Now, when Bad Bunny won and everybody came in the ring, I saw a moment where Damian Priest was laying ringside up against the railing there, and you had to think he had a tremendous sense of pride watching that whole thing unfold, because I assume they're very good friends.
I tweeted that like Damian Priest must be like one of the most trusted people in that company, because this guy is, you cannot introduce.
Yeah, he's throwing $1 billion talent around.
What did he do? Like he did like a Falcon's arrow through. I mean, the guy is worth like he's a planet. Like that he's not just like, oh, I'm a millionaire.
Yeah, but he was also down to do it.
Love the bunny, man.
Love the bunny. Okay. Those two, when Bad Bunny debuted and when Logan Paul debuted, I never thought I would like either one of them, and they're both fantastic.
I rolled my eyes at them. I was just like, this is going to be another one of these celebrity, cameos.
It really is the test for like pro wrestling fans. Like if you're a celebrity and you come in and you pass the test, like it's big time, because it's not an easy test, and we've had some bad ones come through, and these guys are just like, I mean, Logan Paul's lights out. I mean. Yeah. And then pretty much after this, we had the if you want to move on, this is where we had the 6-man.
So this was interesting. This was probably the least heat this Bloodline feud has had. Now it was coming off nuclear heat. It was coming off huge. It was coming off this peak, but the Usos still had big reactions. Sami Zayn didn't. I thought that was interesting. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens didn't really get the reactions tonight that everybody else got.
Yeah, I mean, they may just not appeal very much to the crowd. I mean, you got to think the Usos, like they got that vibe, man. I mean, they to me, as soon as they came out, you knew where the crowd was going to be hot for, and it was for them. And I think Solo Sikoa, I think this was his coming out party. I think he thought he looked great, like towards the end. I mean,
you think he was gonna Raptor 222R says that pay-per-view sucked. See, here are the dumb cunts that just don't need to be in this space, right? Because this isn't a space as YouTube. I enjoy wrestling. That's why I'm up at 11:30 at night on Saturday night doing this. Anybody that would just watch it, that pay-per-view sucked. You fucking suck. Wrestling's on a hell of a heater. It's awesome. We like it here. Get the fuck out. All right. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate it.
Give us a like, Raptor. Give us a like.
What was I talking about?
We're going into the 6-man tag, Solo Sikoa.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to give you one more chance to try to say his name right.
Sikoa.
Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa.
Solo Sikoa.
Did you think he was going to turn? Or do you think...
No chance. No chance. Nothing's happening until Roman's back.
Yeah. Tonight wasn't really the night.
I was hoping for it, but yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know where it's going. I don't know if they're going to turn, if they're going to turn soon, or if they're going to fake turn, because I think they got to stretch out to SummerSlam or Mania. So I don't know when the turn comes.
I mean, the bloodline to me has to be in some tact going into 40. So they have to figure that out. Like, to me, it's not the same. If you don't have it still has to be the bloodline crumbling to me. Like, that's what I thought was going to happen at 39. It didn't. But to me, it's like, they have,
I want to have a discussion with you right now in front of everybody.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are the Usos the greatest tag team of all time?
You've said that before. I was going to bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to talk body of work and what they can do in the ring, they're definitely in the consideration. Because, listen, you could look at LOD. You could look at Demolition. These guys, they didn't do what these guys are doing.
Our foundation was together like
I know
3.5, 4 years. Rockers were together 3.5 years. Now, Edge and Christian were together 2, 3. The Hardy Boys were together for a long time. The Dudleys were together for a long time. LOD, as a child of that era, I've always said it, they kind of suck. They're all entrance and all muscles.
Yeah.
They're the Lex Luger of tag team wrestling.
And the
the spikes and the paint, they're all visual. And somebody says Rock and Sock Connection. No, they were together.
I would say the Dudleys are the only team.
The
Dudleys are the only one that I maybe would probably put above them, just because they had the finisher. So they had the finisher, because the Usos, I mean, what they do the double splash. To me, a finish is really important for a tag team. And
LOD had that as well.
The Doomsday Device push. But if you look at it back in the day, man, the guy's just like, it's just, as an adult, you watch it, you're like,
yeah, but it could be shocking though. Like sometimes when they would hit it, it was shocking.
But Usos definitely up there. You got to.
I think they've been on top. And really on top for like the last 3 or 4 years, but they've been on top of the tag division with New Day for 10 years.
If it wasn't for them in the New Day, like, the tag division would have no continuity at all.
No.
Like, zero.
And that's why I don't know where it goes. I don't know where it goes from here with KO and Sami Zayn. Like, who they wrestle now?
And man, I have no idea.
He's wrestling Usos every pay-per-view? I'm fine with that.
Imperium, you could heat them up with Gunther. You could do something like that. Gunther, if I'm saying words wrong, I don't know. But
you just don't know how to say words. You're from Jersey.
How you doing?
All right, main event. I don't know how they're going to stretch Cody Rhodes to WrestleMania 40.
It's going to be tough, man.
I don't like. You give him the big win tonight, but it wasn't exactly the big oh my god, yay from the crowd. It was like, okay, I guess the match is over. Now Brock definitely. He bloodied himself hard way, right?
I had to have. I mean, it looked like he may have, like, when they cut themselves ahead of time.
He did that, but that's not a cut.
It looked instant. Yeah, it looked like instant cut blood just dropped. Like, I thought, I'm like, maybe on the hand, but he went like this.
Where would he have cut himself?
Yeah, exactly. This doesn't look like it does that.
Oh, that'd been Mario. If you just cut yourself just now, it would have been awesome.
I feel like Brock is the type that he would do that too. He would hardway himself in order to get.
Oh yeah, I think Brock would too. But I just think he just said, "I'm going right into it," and it happened to cut him. Probably a little notch or something in there that got him. But it added to it.
But what to do with Cody? I don't know. He's got to go on some type of losing streak, and I think he's got to lose a bunch to Rollins. Like, that's why I think it's important that Rollins has that belt.
Maybe like Roman or the Bloodline screw him out of winning that belt.
To me, and to me, how about I would love if Matt Cardona appeared and screwed him out of that belt, because then you have the actual real life friendship. That's something that I hold for in the back of my mind.
I don't know who Matt Cardona is.
Yeah, sure. But you don't know who he is?
No.
He's the other internet champion.
Okay, well, we'll see about that.
We'll see about that.
That.
But I think what I would love is, because I'm not a fan of the split titles. I don't know how the chat feels about this, but I would love for Cody to eventually win this World Heavyweight title and then challenge Roman for the unification at 40. Because I don't think to me, it doesn't feel the same unless he's the only champion. Like, if he just has another belt, to me, it's like, that's what
they're going to split him up to unify him again?
I hate splitting it up, man. I think
I think it's stupid. The winning, if Roman has 2 world titles in his hand, and then Seth Rollins or Cody Rhodes wins another one, then nobody's a world champion.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I just feel there's no world champ. Even though Roman's and everyone's going to look at Roman as the guy anyway. Like, even if they got this belt, it's like Roman is. It doesn't even need the belt. It's like, you have to beat Reigns. He's the final boss.
But now I do want to give WWE credit, because outside of Cody not winning at Mania, that ended that event on a sucky note, I think the Rumble was great. The February pay-per-view was great. Most of Mania was great. Tonight was great. And Roman Reigns wasn't even there tonight. Like they just put on an all-timer, huge crowd reactions. We'll always remember Bad Bunny against Damian Priest and that reaction. We'll always remember a lot of things from this pay-per-view, and their number one guy wasn't even there. That's impressive.
I mean, they didn't need him like at all. Like he wasn't missed either. It was almost a little bit of a relief because it almost became a little bit like formulaic where like, okay, you get in Roman at the end, you get in the long entrance, and he's going to go over via DQ or via like, someone's going to come in and interfere. And so we got a little break from that. And then what is SummerSlam? No, we got Night of Champions coming up now. So that's going to be that's going to be a massive show. So I don't know. There's a lot of work to do, but the question is, how the hell do you get Cody to 40? I think that's the main thing.
Idea. I mean, I guess you got guys you can coming back, like say Orton comes back, right?
Oh, I would love
Maybe
that.
he occupies Cody for a little while.
He could. I mean, that's an easy, but because I need Orton as a heel, man. I don't need him as a face ever again. Like,
no, I never need. I mean, I'm not a big Orton guy, you know that. But him coming back, like as Cody's rolling over for the cover on Seth Rollins to win the title, and Randy Orton appears out of nowhere and RKO's him and costs him the belt. Like that's a SummerSlam match.
Cody has to almost win the belt and have it pulled away from him, and then that needs to be stretched to like Survivor Series, like or something like that, where they just go three pay-per-views in a row.
All right. 1 out of 10. What was this pay-per-view? I go like 8.5.
Yeah, I would go like 8.5, even maybe a 9, just because
I was gonna say like 9.
You don't get crowds like this. This is one of the best crowds ever, ever.
Yeah,
I went back and to it was like 2005 New Year's Revolution. This is the last time they were in Puerto Rico. It was nothing compared to this. It was insane how loud this crowd was. It was just wild.
We're getting some numbers in the chat. We got 8.75, 7.5. What else do you guys got as far as ratings is concerned? 8.3. It seems like everyone's in the same.
Why am I not seeing the top of it? Is it coming from the bottom or the top?
You just got to scroll down. Just scroll down. You'll see the.
I'm looking at it.
You're probably looking at the very top. If you scroll down.
Oh yes, I see. Now I see the timestamps beside them. Look at that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, piece of trash just gave 2.25. So yeah.
Thank you, piece of trash.
Very
we need
brand.
more piece of trash. Parker Nelson goes 9.1. Rudy Peck goes 7. Chase Ibarra says solid 8.
There we go.
Medardo Solozorno says something. I don't know where that name went. Solid 8.5. Okay, that works. Somebody says solid 6.5, like my wife. Thank you very much. All right. Now, I'll just give you. Somebody says Cody versus Brock isn't over the way the match ended. No way it's going to end like that. The feud will continue. How do you continue that feud? I guess Cody kind of won on a fluke roll up after he got hard way bloody, but I
could see them doing like a stipulation match, like a
but
no
that
holds
finish
barred.
doesn't make sense. That finish that they did doesn't make sense unless Brock is busted open, right? So even though
I will say, I tweeted the doctors didn't come to him. So typically, if you have blood, like they did it in the Hell in the Cell, which is like crazy that they actually brought the doctor into the Hell in the Cell, and they stopped the match for essentially like 15 minutes. But no doctor came to Brock, so they had to have known that was going to occur. To some degree.
H. Gabe just asked an incredible question. Who is the second best Canadian wrestler in history?
So we're saying Brett's 1.
Well, I was going to say you're not going to like it, but the answer is Bret Hart because Chris Jericho's number 1.
Yeah,
I was going to say Jericho's 2, if not 1.
Like,
all right, good.
Bret is the one that everyone's like. They give like Jericho's body of work is probably unrivaled by pretty much anyone in the industry. If you just look at like longevity, titles.
I mean, there's been some incredible Canadians. Edge, but I would say Jericho 1, Bret Hart 2, maybe Edge 3.
It's a good clip.
Edge 4.
Natalia, Stackhouse. There we go. We got it. The Mountie.
The Mountie. Kenny Omega. Yeah. Owen. I mean, can't hate on Owen. I mean,
Owen was awesome.
Christian's great. Like, there's been a lot of good ass Canadian wrestlers. Nick's favorite wrestler of all time is Dino Bravo.
The World's Strongest Man, the
World's
original.
Man, Dino Bravo.
WrestleMania 7.
Okay, so now we have had our discussion. I will take all of our next 10 minutes before we get out of here from the chat. So whatever you want to ask us, ask us. Who's the dude in the top left? That is Nick Buono. And I don't know how to say his name, but I think I got it pretty close.
You got it right perfectly.
Nick Buono, he is the producer of Zero Blog 30.
Yeah.
And then he is the social guy for Rasslin.
Yeah.
And he's on Twitter as Rasslin and as Nick Buono.
Nikki the Good.
Nikki the Good. That's
Nikki the Good. Yeah.
Justin A says best finishing move of all time. Well, that's the Stone Cold Stunner. There is no close second. How could it not be the Stone Cold Stunner? He could do it to anybody. It's the Stone Cold Stunner.
I mean, I don't have it. I don't have a rebuttal. It's the best. Even the prelude to it, the kick to the stomach, is its own. The kick to the stomach is an event in itself. As soon as you see the kick to the stomach, the crowd goes nuts. Then you have the stunner itself, and then he's doing the whole thing. It's not just the move; it's an entire event.
Oh, it is an event. Yeah. Yeah. You can see it coming too, and it's and also often preceded by this. So any finishing move preceded by this, it works for me.
And it could be snuck in. It could be a sneak attack too sometimes.
Yeah, and he can do it to anybody. If the guy is 7 foot tall, he can do it to him. If he's 3 foot tall, he can do it to him. So it is what it is. RKO / Diamond Cutter could be second, but they're both just variations of the fucking stunner anyway. But whatever. Best moment from the pandemic era?
Ooh, God, that was tough.
Do you bring in AEW on this? Because they had some pretty good moments from the pandemic era too.
Yeah.
What was the best moment from the pandemic era? Was it the fucking graveyard match?
Boneyard match.
The boneyard match. Yeah, the boneyard match.
I mean,
or that bizarre, and nobody talks about it anymore, but that bizarre Bray Wyatt match.
That was not.
I hate that match.
I just remember watching it thinking like
the Firefly Funhouse match.
Yeah.
It was. Drew winning was a good one for the time because Drew McIntyre was like, he was hot at that time. Now he's definitely cooled off.
I got to ask you a question. So we all watch the rumors and we see the wrestling stuff, right? Is Drew McIntyre? If Drew McIntyre doesn't sign with WWE, I don't like that.
I mean,
if he finishes up with WWE, I don't like that. I like Drew McIntyre. It's my daughter's favorite wrestler. She will not take this well if I tell her Drew McIntyre is going to leave WWE.
I think he could be his best product is in WWE. Like if he wants to be his best version of himself, I feel like if he went to AEW, he would just fall in line with like the Keith Lees of the world. They would eventually do that to him. But with WWE, he still needs something else though. Like he can't just keep coming out with the sword. And he's been in the same matches with Sheamus. Like he needs to be reinvented to a degree or go heel.
Preston Young asked a great question. Is it a hot take to say Roman Reigns is the best wrestler of the 21st century?
I don't think so. Wait, 21st? Hold on.
Since 2000.
Okay, what are we talking about?
No, I think Cena's got to be right there in the mix, right?
Yeah.
I would easily put Cena over him just because Roman had
the last 3 years have been something, man.
Yeah, but Roman had a stretch where he literally was hated, and
Cena had that stretch too.
Yeah, I was listening to the PG era Cena.
But the weird thing is, Cena had that stretch after he was super over, and Roman kind of had it before he found his real character.
But to me, Cena did it when there was like no one, like there wasn't when he was getting ripped on by the crowd, like there was no one around him to support him. He was the only dude there. I don't feel that way with Roman.
I think that's revisionist history. You still had Triple H hanging on. You had Randy Orton coming up. You had Batista right there too. Like there were guys.
But Roman came up with the Shield. I mean, this guy had everything. I don't know. I think, and I was dogging Cena back in the day too. But I do think Cena. He had the. I don't know, man. That's a really good question.
I mean, I think it's one of those, and I'm not talking about the best technical wrestler because that.
Right. Yeah.
When I say best wrestler, I'm thinking the whole thing: star power, match quality. Can you put him on a main event? Can you put him on Late Night with Jimmy Kimmel? Can you put him on all these things? Like everything. And it's Roman and Cena.
Yeah, and I would say that's how you describe this show.
Yeah,
if anyone's new here, I think that's how we look at pro wrestling.
Also, I mean, there are some right below that. Kurt Angle. You know, Chris Jericho, most of his career has been since 2000.
Right.
Triple H, a lot of his career has been since 2000. Like there's a lot. Randy Orton's entire career has been since 2002. Brock fucking Lesnar.
I would say Brock.
Wait a minute, you didn't say Brock.
I take back Brock.
I completely forgot about Brock.
I take back everything.
Honestly,
you had a chance to say Brock and you didn't.
I take back everything. It's Brock. He's
Brandon,
still the best because Brock is still the best. Like I don't care about. He's still the best to me in ring too. Like I don't care about like AJ Styles. I get it. Like all the Okadas, whatever these people want to talk about. Brock Lesnar is bar none better than every single wrestler in the world. He could work with small guys, big guys. He sells the best, and he doesn't even have to if he didn't want to.
Somebody says, when are we getting an LA Knight push? I hope we do. And this is for purely selfish reasons because I want LA Knight to get really famous and be the biggest star in WWE because every time you Google LA Knight WWE debut, I want you to tell me who pops up. Should we talk about that? We never have talked about it. I did the pre-show on St. Valentine's Day Massacre or whatever they called it back then, Vengeance Day.
Vengeance,
That was the best. That was the best moment of the pandemic era.
I must have sucked because they never had me back.
Maybe you were too good or too tall.
I don't think so.
You're probably too tall. Although
I've got good rapport with a lot of guys. When me and Cody talked, it was instant chemistry. Every time I've talked to Triple H, I'm the goofiest, most awkward piece of shit in the world. I'm not funny.
It's because you're a fan, dude. You're a big, tall.
I have shit my pants every time I've talked to Triple H. That's the truth. I'd be like, I'll just say something stupid. It's not funny, and then I'm like, oh, that wasn't funny. I shouldn't have said it. And then he's just sitting there.
I feel like Triple H may have been one of those guys that you just like. You always say this like in passing, like I just think he's the coolest motherfucker I've ever seen. And I think when you encounter people like that, that's when you just become a fan, rather than like he's witty too. He has good comebacks. He has everything that you can't prey on.
Correct.
No, we were at the warehouse, and what did you say to Stephanie? Did you call
her?
I
introduced her. I was doing the intro, and I'd been watching. This was in 2022, and I'd been watching Attitude Era Raws. I've been watching the 2000 McMahon Helmsley era Raws, and I say, "All right, I'm here in the WWE warehouse with Triple H and his wife Stephanie McMahon Helmsley." She hasn't been called that in 20 years. I just said it.
We stopped. We were like, "Wait, cut."
Yeah, like, sorry, I passed out in Raw 1999 last night. My fault.
Yeah, I did. I'd been watching it. I was like, "Oh fuck," and I just whatever. What else we got? Give me some more questions or statements, and I will read them. As much as Drew is WWE, MJF is AEW. Yeah, MJF is AEW. I mean, he's one of them. And listen, we're talking about WWE tonight. It shouldn't go unnoticed that AEW's they've sold 60,000 tickets to the London show. And that crowd, you talk about tonight, I mean, that crowd's going to be lit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that crowd I feel like is more like that crowd is more like marks to me. Like you get wrestling marks there.
These were wrestling fans that have been dying to see wrestling.
Yes, and that probably love wrestling, but they probably their biggest stars are probably guys that are just larger than life characters. Right. Whereas you're going to go to that Wembley and it's going to be like, I want to see chain wrestling for 3.5 hours, and it's going to be the best thing ever.
I still don't understand why Io Sky got that reaction tonight. It was bizarre to me. She's
got that good entrance music too, though. It gets the crowd. They probably like that shit. Yeah.
I looked it up, and she had like a huge what was it? She had a few years in Mexico, and then obviously in Japan. So I don't know if that's translated or anything, or they watch like they're big Japanese wrestling fans down there. But she had a huge run in Mexican wrestling too. So I don't know.
So let me ask you a question, because I've been noticing this watching wrestling. In WWE, are we in a golden era of theme songs? Because if you look right now, you just said Io Sky's got to go in, and she does. But there's some all-timers in there. Like Roman's entrance is fucking epic. Yeah. It is epic. Cody's is fantastic. Seth Rollins. The list goes on and on of incredible theme songs right now. And in WWE, I would date it all the way back to when like Shinsuke made his debut, and then Robert Roode made his debut, and Glorious. And I think those are in this era. Like, they've had some of the best songs ever in the last 5 or 6 years.
They definitely hit a stride when NXT was heavy too. Like when that NXT age, when NXT Brooklyn came around, like even like what was his name, what was it, Breeze, like
Right.
even that theme song was like incredible. So I would agree with that. I think that there was a lull in between that it was awful.
It was bad.
Like really just generic rock find like off the internet, like generic rock song, and that was it. And AEW's gotten better too, because when they first started, they had a little bit of it. Yeah,
I'm gonna bless the people real quick with a little Spotify. Tell me the name of that band that you've always told me that does those great covers on of theme songs.
Oh, It Lives, It Breathes.
It Lives, It Breathes. There's a band called It Lives, It Breathes that does covers of every wrestling or a lot of wrestling theme songs. Yeah, they're incredible. They're incredible.
We were in the story there we were doing interviews with AEW, and Brandon told me I was driving. So I'm driving. I'm like, I got you. Don't worry. And so I put it on, and they do the covers. It's like arena rock, but it's of like DX, Cult of Personality. It's everything. And he's humming. So I knew I earned some trust there. Yeah.
CCCK says Roman carrying the title this long has killed future credibility of other top stars. Yes or no? 100% no. That's really fucking stupid.
No.
Sometimes you have long reigns. Sometimes you have short reigns. Title reigns don't make wrestlers. Sorry. Title wins can, but title reigns don't.
Right. Some guys never even need the belt.
Some guys don't need the belt, and some guys get the belt and you realize they were better off without it.
100%.
So title reigns don't matter. Title wins do matter. Getting a moment and getting the big spotlight, that matters. What happens after that rarely matters.
Like Sami Zayn in Montreal, that was my whole thing. Like I'm like, Sami doesn't need the title. Like I don't know what to do when he has the title. That's the problem. And then that's why we hate the split title so much, because you guys that's what led to Alberto Del Rio winning a title, Jack Swagger winning a title.
Yeah.
And then what are we doing here? One person asked about if they could have MJF roast more Barstool employees. We actually have one, and if we get to like 55,000 subscribers, I'll release it. That's the deal.
Oh, we have an unreleased one?
I have an unreleased one. We're at 47 and change. So maybe at 50K. If we get
I'm going to say my spiel again. Barstool shut us down, took our resources away a year ago when we were absolutely growing. We were hitting 100,000 regularly. I think it was a bullshit decision then. I think it's a bullshit decision now. But we're still working. When we got time, we're hitting this thing. We got it on TikTok. What I need you to do is like, subscribe on TikTok. Please subscribe. The way I figure it, if we get to 60, 70, 100,000 subscribers without them putting effort into us, they're going to have to realize that they were fucking stupid to take it away. I know that bald-headed fuck Gas can suck my dick. But anyway, we're gonna make them not be able to ignore us. We're gonna keep working. Please like, please subscribe, please tell your friends, please do whatever you can to help us out. And if we don't, I'm going to say every slur I can possibly think of on these live streams. I'm going to hold them ransom. Let's see. Where we go? More questions. Bill Haverchuk, I'm about to make 50,000 burner accounts and subscribe with all of them. I will send you $1 if you do that. I'll send you an American dollar.
I'll match.
Oh, look at Cheapy McCheap over there.
Best current wrestling free agent.
I'm not too in tune with the scene to know who the best free agents are. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, to
like
me,
Osprey a free agent. I don't know, just because he doesn't work here. Does that just mean somebody that doesn't work in America right now?
That's probably what I think that person thinks. Yeah. But to me, it's Cardona. He's the only guy to me that I know you don't know who he is or what he works on, but he's probably the guy.
Do you think we get a Roman J match for SummerSlam? That's very possible. I can see that. If you were to occupy Cody with somebody like Randy Orton or somebody of that ilk, then you also have to do something with Roman Reigns. I can see Jay, if they break up, maybe he gets the SummerSlam spot. But even then, like if he beats Jay again, what does that do for the Bloodline story? What does that do for anybody? What does that do for anybody?
I got a question for the chat. Who do you want Brandon to interview? We could do interviews. Who do you guys want to see?
That's a good question. Somebody says top 5 90s cartoon. Focus, please. Focus. Focus.
Even though you'll go in on that if you want.
I'll go in.
It'll be another hour.
Yep, exactly.
Not really 90s so much as I was already, by the time the 90s got here, I was 11 years old, so I wasn't really into cartoons.
Otis and Chad Gable. Charlie Sherman said that. I pitched that early on. I wanted Otis bad. I was like, get these guys in it.
All right, these are some good ones. LA Knight would work, and Edge. We've never gotten Edge.
Edge
I feel like we could get him. Probably on Zoom, but we can get Edge.
We've had Jericho before, but he's one of those you can just run back all the time. And we're trying to run back MJF. We're going to run MJF back every 6 months, hopefully. And we're actually due, aren't we? We're due for an MJF.
Yeah,
we're due. We have like our 6-month clip of like, hey, we need to show that we could pump a 300K in 72 hours.
I've never had AJ. Well, I kind of had AJ Styles for a second.
Yeah.
And, if you've ever seen this video, we did the WrestleMania press junket last year, where we got Becky Lynch, and I got AJ Styles for a minute in there. I personally think that was one of our best videos.
That's one of my favorite videos because of Becky.
She's dope.
We need Becky. I want Becky.
She's the best.
Becky Lynch. And for anyone in the chat, like, we're actively working on this stuff too. So
Eddie Kingston, Chase says Eddie Kingston. I've had Eddie Kingston. We have an interview with Eddie Kingston on this channel. We've had Montez Ford.
Enzo. We've had Enzo on.
We've had Enzo. We've had
my brother just said Trish. We actually had Trish, but Brandon had a scheduling conflict. Couldn't do it.
I thought she canceled.
Sure, we'll say that.
No, she did cancel.
Did she? I don't know.
Yeah, because I'd moved stuff around.
Yeah. Yep, that did
happen. Maybe it was Lita. I don't know.
There was another one, but
we have options though, people. We can do
Trish.
Because Trish, we sat down in person to do the interview with Trish, but she fell madly in love with me. So I had to say, Trish, chill. I'm married, and she just got all psycho and it's crazy, and she wanted to date me, and she kept. So I just Trish, we can't do the interview.
Paul Heyman is in the chat. I think
you just no-sold the shit out of that.
I was about
to. Adam Cole. I've had Adam Cole, but I do need him again.
Yes. That was a great interview, actually. That was really good.
Mick Foley. Have I ever told y'all my Mick Foley story? I don't think I have. Maybe. Have I told you, Aria? When my dad
might have told me.
I know what the story is.
When my dad died last year, we were not doing wrestling anymore. When my dad died, the Yak or Big Cat, I don't know who it was, one of them paid and got a cameo for Mick Foley and said, "Hey, Mick, can you tell Brandon something? His dad died." Now, normally a cameo, hey man, hope your fantasy team goes well, yada yada. Thanks for being a fan. Shout out. Mick Foley gave me a 7 or 8 minute cameo talking about how his life was when his dad passed, or how important dads are, and it's just one of the most heartfelt cameos I've ever seen. And it was just, it teared me up. So I do need to get Mick Foley one day so I can thank him for that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I had no idea about that. That's awesome.
Let's see. AJ Styles and MJF. I never had AJ, kind of really. You know who I kind of want to interview? Either Bad Bunny or Logan Paul.
Oh my God.
That would be crazy. I mean, that
would be awesome.
I mean, there is a world where, like, I feel like Logan could happen.
Well, Logan has Barstool checks.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Miro, we never had Miro. We never had Dolph Ziggler.
I do like Dolph would be a good one.
Have we had Kurt Angle?
No, we haven't had Kurt. I feel like the Miz in person would be great. I would like to see you do the Miz in person
would be really good.
Yeah. All right. I think we're at about 45 minutes now.
Yeah.
I think that was a good time. So what we're going to do, these big shows, we're going to be doing these things. We're going to be doing these live reactions, I assume. Nick just kind of made the call. Yep. I did not plan this at all. I just showed up.
I was going to be here with or without you.
Yeah. So thank God I showed up.
But I also think this is something that we could do. There's no production resources here. So if there's big news that drops, even if someone's not around, I'll just pop on. I'll just deliver that news, get some views for you.
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. Again, like, subscribe, and DM Gaz that he's a fucking idiot, and all of them that they're fucking idiots, and wrestling needs to come back.
All right.
That's wrestling. That's wrestling.
All right.
Show's over. Turn it off.